All right, class, let's talk about case studies without making it too formal, too lengthy, and too nosebleed. Think of a case study as a story, a real story, a story of a problem, a community, a brand, or a group of people who were struggling or experiencing chaos, disorder, and how this chaos, through responsible individuals who step in, is getting fixed or has gotten fixed. In advertising, this matters because brands and products constantly face chaos and disorder. Because of changing trends, a decline in engagement, angry customers, or bad PR. Case studies explain how they turned the chaos into order. After all, that is what life is, a call to order. That is also a life skill for us to organize things so they can easily be handled. Troubleshooting, in other words, being able to look at a problem clearly enough that you can actually solve it, that's social responsibility for me. What's the point of a case study? It's super simple. Number one, what went wrong? And number two, how did we fix it? And string these together as a narrative for people to hear. It's not just an academic requirement, it's a way of training yourself as an individual to face problems instead of panicking or guessing. In advertising, it becomes how did this brand survive instead of losing or collapsing? Because whether it's a brand or a person, we all walk that fine line between order and chaos. And a case study is basically you saying, okay, we're not letting this get worse. Here's what we're going to do. Real example, saving a town from a fear and saving its dogs from further suffering. Before we talk about structure, let me show you what a powerful case study looks like. This happened in a small barangay in Cebu. The mornings become scary, especially for children. When kids go to school, they carry sticks and stones, as instructed by their parents. So the parents are kind of ill-informed regarding what to do with the problem. So, stray dogs are the problem. They are once harmless, but they started to form packs. Some were starving, some were full of skin disease, some became territorial. And then it worsened, it escalated. A boy was bitten while walking very close to a garbage area. His mother couldn't, or parents couldn't afford treatment. Now, people in the community speculated the dogs became crazy, so they panicked and they spread the rumors that there are dogs that are violent. Soon, everyone wanted all the stray dogs removed from the community. Fear took over the community. But the dogs were suffering too, unbeknownst to the individuals living in the community, because they were abandoned, unfed, unvaccinated. Here's where the case study mindset kicks in. Don't blame, just understand. A local animal welfare group stepped in and did research. 80% of the stray dogs used to have owners. Most bites happened in garbage areas. Families wanted to help, but they were too broke to help. And nobody knew about low-cost vaccination programs by the government. The big insight here is that people weren't cruel. They were not cruel again towards the animals. They were just trapped in poverty, fear, and misinformation. So they launched Pause for Peace, the Barangay Stray Dog Initiative. They did free vaccination drives by volunteers, training for barangay tanods, social media infographics on how to handle dog encounters, And then donations or makeshift dog beds, feeding programs by the youth volunteers, and then finally mural paintings that will promote compassion towards the dogs. Within 3 months, the dog bite cases dropped to 70%, and 120 stray dogs were vaccinated, and there were 30 that were adopted. Garbage areas have been cleaned, and kids started feeding and naming the dogs, thereby eliminating the fear. The community felt safe, and then they are united to a single cause of protecting the dogs and at the same time protecting the community. That is a powerful case study. Not just facts, but human struggle, emotional conflict, and transformation. These were afforded after conducting a real case study. In research methods, you're just talking about how the researchers did it for future researchers to be guided on what to do. This example shows exactly how real case studies are built. First, document analysis. Researchers looked at the bite incident reports or the health records and existing regulations or animal welfare laws. This gave them the big picture. And then they secondly observed. They checked where the dogs hung out, what triggered aggression, how residents behaved around dogs. So they didn't guess, they observed closely. And mind you, observation is the kind of immediate methodology if you want to know the updated situation of the community. Well, the records will show incidents of dog bites in historical fashion. It will tell you where the dog bite happened. But the actual observation, I think this is very prime because of recent incidents that were not yet documented or put into writing. Interviews are also very much useful when along with observation, of course, because observation gives you real-time information. And as I said, interviews can also give you an updated information by asking what had happened recently or transpired recently in the community. The researchers can talk to parents, the volunteers can talk to children, former dog owners, or the barangay officials. And those conversations will provide the emotional truth behind the data. That is a case study, that is research, not complicated, just being practical, logical, and responsible. Now, the structure of a case study, it starts with a background. In academic thesis, it might be more structured, but in organizational case studies, it's more straightforward. In the background, you can talk about the profile of a small barangay in Cebu. Okay, in this case of saving the stray, it's the growing stray population in a particular barangay and the social tension that arises from it. So the second one is defining the problem, the fear of stray dogs, rising bite cases, misinformation, and poverty. Then thirdly, the analysis will come in, showing patterns whereby former dog owners, left the dogs to starve because they could not afford to feed them. So food scarcity could also be part of the outcome or the analysis that encouraged aggression, and residents lack of information or access to information and affordable services. Then next, after analyzing the situation and having an insight about the situation, there's a crafting of solution. In this case, it's community-driven, humane, educational, and sustainable. Afterwards, the result is described. After 3 months of observation, a comparison of the situation before the intervention and after the intervention, we figured, or the researchers figured, that safety is already restored and dog populations are healthier, and the community is united towards that common goal of coexistence in a community where individuals feel safe and the dogs are also spared from further suffering. See, even a simple community struggle can be transformed into a powerful case study. To wrap up, a case study is not just a report, it's a story of how people refuse to let disorder win. The stray dog examples show you real fear and conflict, or real data, real action, and real results. That's what make a case study meaningful. That you can come in as an advertising major, as if you're part of the team, to craft infographics that would address the misinformation of the community. That's exactly why case studies are important for advertising majors.